Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 397 of the Embodied Podcast. This is our last episode before summer break. So, originally, I did not take a break on this podcast for 5 years. I publish an episode, sometimes two, every single week for 5 years, from 2015 to 2020. And then in 2020, when things were just so bananas, I was like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take the first ever break because shit is crazy. And I just didn't feel like my voice was needed in the mix of what was going on in 2020. So I took a break. And then I was like, oh, breaks are amazing. And it was also part of my own, decolonization process, my own inner liberation work of just unhooking from capitalism, productivity, the need to always be on. I'd been taking social media breaks for many years before that. But then actually taking a break from the podcast, which felt scary, by the way, because this is such a great, it's a connection engine in this business, in my world, in my life too. And for me to be able to creatively express and interview people, it's also a learning tool for me. It's really quite a vital, incredible part of my life. And I love it dearly. Love being able to connect with you all, hear from you all. I get so many lovely messages from you each week. And in 2020, I was like, Mama needs a break. So I took my first break. I came back with a little series at the end of the summer. So I took a break from like April to August, did a little series, and then took a whole nother break from September 2020 to May 2021. And we came back last year. And now the rhythm is we do summer break, which is longer from like mid-July to mid-September. And then we do a winter break, which is shorter, usually only like 3 weeks. So we're about to go on summer break, but this episode is really dedicated. It's July 18th when this episode goes up. And July 22nd is Mary Magdalene Feast Day. Ooh, and it's making me cry. Whew. I'm tender today. If you are watching the podcast on YouTube, I'm recording. I'm in my bed. I'm in my bed. I'm makeup free. I'm sweaty. I just came from, my gym has an incredible, they call it the sanctuary. It's the spa. I didn't have a workout in me this morning, but I wanted to go sweat. So I did the little circuit. There's an infrared sauna. They have a hot plunge and a cold plunge. They have a steam room and they have a cold sauna, which I've never even heard of before. So that's my rhythm. I'll do the infrared sauna for like 20, 25 minutes. Then I go back and forth from the hot tub and the cold plunge 3 times. Then I go sit in the steam room, eucalyptus steam room, for however long I can take it, because sometimes it's really hot. This morning it was so hot. And then I do the cold sauna for the last few minutes, and it's just glorious. But I'm coming off of yesterday, some pretty big and intense family drama and trauma. So I'm in bed recording the episode today, and my heart is so tender. And talking about Mary Magdalene makes me tender because I have to tell you all, I just love her so much. Her energy, her archetype, her, since 2012. A decade now. This is our 10-year anniversary. Oh my God. That makes me want to cry even more. So some of you know this and have heard me talk about this before, but I'll just repeat it. So this episode is dedicated to Mary Magdalene. Friday the 22nd is Mary Magdalene Feast Day, which I haven't been Catholic for a very long time, but in the Catholic Church, they have all these holy days of obligation. Mary Magdalene, her day was considered like a regular old holy day of obligation for many, many years. And then I believe it was 2016 or 2017 that Pope Francis upgraded it rather, to a whole ass feast day, which is a big deal in the Catholic Church, to honor not just a woman, but Mary Magdalene, who in Christianity, especially Catholicism, is portrayed as a prostitute, And those of us who are, in essence, her devotees in this lifetime, and perhaps her companions in previous lifetimes, know that that was not the case. And that's not something, listen, there's all kinds of channeled texts and books and theories and things about Mary Magdalene, but the way I always like to invite people to engage with her is how I've engaged with her, which is let her take you on your own journey through her stories, through all of those texts, if you want to check them out and just see what's there for you, right? Because in some ways we'll never know. And in some ways, those of us who choose to engage with her absolutely know in the bottom of our hearts and our souls what's true and what's not. So I invite people to go on that journey for yourself because she has medicine. If you find yourself interested, pulled, or compelled to learn more about Mary Magdalene and to engage with her energy, she will guide you where it is that you need to go with her. But one of my favorite things about Mary Magdalene and her energy is the immense compassion and like real, true, unconditional love she invites us into. And so on a day when my heart is very tender, every time I mention her name, I just feel this like real, incredible love, which is cool. And I've been doing this now. This is my 6th year of doing something for Mary Magdalene Feast Day. I always pull together some special offerings as well. So I'm excited to let you know that some of you know and love Terry Cole because you're longtime podcast listeners. So the biggest offering for Mary Magdalene Feast Day this year is that I'm teaming up with Terry for a workshop next week. It's going to be July 27th, 7 p.m. Eastern. You could go to untameyourself.com/Terry, Terri, if you want to sign up. And we're going to be talking about embodiment and boundaries, embodiment and body image, embodiment and codependency, how embodiment practice helps heal and cultivate all of those things. So if you're someone who's working on your boundaries, whatever you need to heal to be able to have healthy boundaries, how can embodiment help you do that? If you're someone who deals with body image issues, how can embodiment help you heal that and have a much more loving and powerful relationship with your body? And if you're someone who is recovering or healing or dealing with codependency, how can embodiment help you out with that? Especially those of you like me who either have been or still are inclined to overfunctioning, like high functioning codependency, right? So I'm so excited. Terry is one of my dearest friends in the world, but also such a pivotal healing force in my life. I've worked with Terry. I love her so much, and people love us together. I've been on her podcast. She's been on this podcast 3 times, and people have asked us literally for years, since like 2017, to do something together. And so this is it, y'all. We're bringing it next week. And this is my big Mary Magdalene Feast Day offer this year. As well, for anyone who has any interest in working with me for a year and some change, the program is 14 months, in my Sacred Embodiment Specialist Training. We actually don't open up enrollments and applications for the training until September, but also for Mary Magdalene Feast Day this year, I'm going to open up applications early just for this week. So from July 18th to July 22nd, if you know you're interested, because the space is limited. I'm not one of these people who's like, let me just get 1 million people in my training, because I work with you all really intimately and really deeply. And so there's a cap on the number. I haven't decided what the cap is going to be yet. This year we had 18 people in training. I feel like we'll probably double. I can open up double that for next year. So it'll be somewhere between 18 and 36 people this year. So if you're interested in that, you can go to untameyourself.com/S as in Sam, E as in Elizabeth, S as in Sam, or SES as in Sacred Embodiment Specialist. So untameyourself.com/SES. and you could apply early. The other cool thing that we're doing for Mary Magdalene Feast Day with that is if you apply this week, you will save $1,000 on the training. And we do all kinds of work studies and extended payment plans. We make it accessible for people. It's really an intensive training, and I really pour a lot of myself into it. So I really can't do discounts or scholarships for the training, but I do work exchange, which I love so much. We have so many incredible bonus people in our community doing cool shit, like our resident astrologer, our wildness coordinator, a couple other community helpers, people who help us transcribe and annotate our videos in the trainings and in other things. So based on the people this year, I have some great ideas for work studies that we're going to do for the upcoming training. I won't announce those things until September, but if you apply now, all of those things will be possible for you, and you'll be able to save $1,000. So untameyourself.com/Terry or untameyourself.com/SES. Between July 18th and 22nd is for the training, but you all can sign up for the workshop with Terry really up until the workshop starts on July 27th. So check those things out. And now back to this Mary Magdalene dedicated episode. I want to tell you about divine timing for a second, because really I'm quite late recording this episode. I was supposed to record it almost a week ago, and I just couldn't. And it wasn't procrastination. It wasn't ready yet. And some of you can relate to that. Those of you who are more mystical in nature, some of you who are channelers or intuitives or whatever, creatives. Sometimes something isn't like fully cooked. It isn't ready. And this wasn't ready yet until literally this morning. Partly because of the family little traumatic thing that happened yesterday. One of the things I love the most about Mary Magdalene's energy and her message for those with eyes to see and ears to hear is really this unconditional love and this immense compassion. There is literally so much suffering in the world now, more than ever. A, because there's more people than ever, and B, because so many people are so disconnected from their souls. They're so disconnected from their creator, however it is you want to relate to a creator, a divine being, beloved, God, whatever you call it. And a lot of people are just really lost, and they're really in a lot of pain. And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to be one of those people. It's overwhelming to hold space for those people. It's overwhelming to be both. Some of you are both. And we all have stuff. We all have stuff. There's a lot of people who get like, really, what's the word? I don't know. There's a lot of like controversial and challenging conversation around what is trauma and what is not. And so, even you could take the word trauma out of it and just bring it to suffering. People are in pain. People don't feel loved. People feel alone. People feel abandoned, rejected, like they're not good enough. So many of these things that people feel, and that drives so much of the harmful behavior in the world. It drives all of the harmful behavior in the world, honestly. And so for each of us, as we can learn to be more compassionate, more patient, and more loving with people, again, it doesn't mean we need to give them our time, energy, or attention. I'd experienced last week a woman who had been in my community for over a year, just bringing some really unconscious projections and stuff, just dumping this crap all over me. And, she had done it before. This is a person, sometimes people don't realize. I talk about being a mystic all the time and having psychic abilities, but I'm also a seasoned energy worker and professional. And so it's interesting, when people come and they show up with their unconscious stuff, they don't realize sometimes who they're talking to or who they're dealing with. And that I see and I feel and I sense and I'm understanding at a much higher level what's actually coming through and what's actually going on with them. And at the same time, I'm not a punching bag, Just because I'm tough and I'm strong and I have a lot of capacity doesn't mean I have to take people's shit, even if they're coming from a place that I have a lot of compassion for, which is, unhealed or unconscious places. And that was just such a great example with that woman. I have a lot of compassion for it, but the way she was coming at me, I was like, nope, we're not doing this. We are not doing this. I am not doing this. This is not what community looks like. And a common misconception when people say unconditional love or compassion is that we have to sacrifice ourselves to accommodate people who are unwell or unhealed or whatever, however you want to describe that in your own words. And the thing is that we don't, because if people are being abusive or manipulative, and again, a lot of people are, and they're not doing it on purpose. It's just where they're at. We don't have to internalize that. We don't have to take that. We don't have to tolerate it. We could be kind as possible. We could be compassionate. And compassion does not always look like being nice or polite. I actually was not very nice to this person. I was firm. I was clear. I was kind. I was clear. I invited her to really look at why and how she was coming at me and treating me the way she was. And she couldn't hear, she wouldn't listen, and she was projecting all of that on me. So I let her go. I invited her to unsubscribe from everything. I actually went ahead and blocked her myself because she then started to violate boundaries in the interaction. And again, I'm bringing this up because I don't think some people realize that sometimes that is the most compassionate thing we could do for everyone involved, and that includes us, because we do not have to sacrifice ourselves for people who, I will describe it this way, and take this however you want, who in any given moment are worse off than we are. And people could be worse off than us in a number of ways. And listen, some people might disagree with that, but on a soul level, coming from a place of self-love, healing, wholeness, and liberation, which is where I'm always coming from, that is not how we heal collectively, by just taking other people's shit. We can lovingly hand it right back to them so that they can either deal with it or not. And that, in some cases, is the most loving and compassionate thing we could do, because when we just take it on, they don't have to deal with it. And then they won't. And then they'll just keep doing these things. And so, that's just an example. But Mary Magdalene's energy is really about a couple of things. Main things: unconditional love and compassion. Heaven on earth, being in your body, getting out of your head, being in your body, letting your soul take up more space in your life. And again, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not really going to give you too much because I really want to invite you to have your own relationship with Mary Magdalene. But what I will read you and I will share with you, I wrote a prayer. I had actually on another morning, months ago, this was from April, when I was sitting in the steam room. I was having a little visit with Mary Magdalene. And when I got home, I wrote this prayer. O beloved Magdalene, patroness of the sacred feminine mysteries, energy, and wisdom that desire to be liberated, felt and expressed within us, around us, and between us. We are your kin, and we need you now. Bless us and guide us with your unending love and compassion. Show us what it is to live in surrender, acceptance, faith, and allowance of what is and what wants to be. Help us to channel the highest and deepest callings of our souls so that we may dismantle the inner oppressors that would have us hide and shrink away in shame or cowardice in the shadows of our own power. Help us to humbly embody all that we are in fullness and with reverence, so that we may serve all beings and all that is from the infinite well of grace and light that your memory constantly guides us to. As we hold you in our hearts, may we remember you and be just as courageous with our choices always. In prayer, devotion, and receptivity. Amen. Mary Magdalene, for me, also represents immense courage. Absolutely immense courage. Through her story, through how she lived out her days after the crucifixion, through how she was a disciple, a female disciple in a very male-dominated time. Patriarchy goes way back, y'all. In how she loved. It's just so amazing. So very powerful, very potent being. What else do I want to share with you about her today, if anything? So I guess I want to invite you in your own life to see where you are suffering. And if you could use a patroness, if you could use a guide, some really loving, healing support and energy, consider connecting with Mary Magdalene. If you have people in your life that are suffering and that's hard for you to be with and deal with and support, you could invoke Mary Magdalene to help you to be with that in whatever way is going to be best for all parties involved. And as a woman, if you're a woman, really inviting her in to help you remember just the immense power and sacredness and magic and medicine it is to be a woman anytime in history, and now being a very intense and important time. And if you're not a woman, she is great for you to help you integrate your own feminine energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy. I know some people don't like the gendered terms, so call them, relate to them however you want to relate to them. And if you have healing to do around your relationships with women, whether you're a woman or not, right? Your relationships with other women or your relationships with the women in your life, whether that's friends, romantic partners, family members, mother wounds are quite rampant. Some people believe Mary Magdalene was a mother. Some people don't. That's your business, what you want to believe about that. I love, by the way, Tabitha Brown. If any of you don't know who Tabitha Brown is, she's another magical, amazing creature. I've been listening to her audiobook, and that's her line. That's your business. I love that so much. It's so liberating to just not have to be, you all have heard me, if you listen to the podcast, often talk about minding my business and what an amazing spiritual practice minding our business is. Again, especially those of us who have healed or are healing from codependency, because being all up in other people's business is a hallmark of codependency, controlling behavior, right? And so Tabitha Brown, I love, she's like, that's your business. That is your business. And so I love remembering and being reminded of that. So for anyone, if you are tender, if you are suffering, if you have anything intense going on in your life that's hard to hold on your own, you can invoke Mary Magdalene. You could see what medicine she might have for you. And if you want to do any rituals to invite Mary Magdalene in on her feast day on July 22nd, here's what I'm kind of seeing to offer for you. Go online, whether it's Amazon or Google or, whatever, and check out Mary Magdalene books. There's so many. So many. Some of my favorite are the Magdalene Manuscript, Magdalene Revealed. Magdalene Manuscript is Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion. Magdalene Revealed is Megan Watterson. There's another book called I Remember Union, which I don't remember who the author of that is. That is a channeled text. There's also fictional books that I've loved that have really helped me connect with Mary Magdalene. The Magdalene Line Trilogy by Kathleen McGowan. And then what else? I'm looking over on my shelf because I keep her close by. Oh, there's a book called The Meaning of Mary Magdalene. There's no shortage of books about Mary Magdalene. There's a Mary Magdalene Oracle deck. I don't love it, but I have it. Might resonate for some of you. But yeah, start your own journey. See what happens. I promise you, if you open up to her, she will come for you in amazing ways And if and when that happens, please tell me all about it. I want to know. You can email us at hello@untameyourself.com, or you could DM me on Instagram at Elizabeth D'Alto. This episode is episode number 397. We're coming up on the big 400. We'll be back September 12th. So I hope you have an amazing summer. And as you are following along, I'm going to be rebooting some of our recent episodes that I didn't do such a great job of like letting people know and posting on social and whatever. If you're on our email list, you get our weekly podcast emails. But we have some great snippets and clips and quotes and things from these episodes that, since we're not going to be putting out new episodes this summer, each week on Instagram and each week on email, we're going to highlight an episode that's already gone up. Some of you might have already listened to them. One of the things I love about you all, some of you tell me how much you listen to the podcast sometimes, like numerous times. Like, I've listened to this episode 4 times. And I'm like, that's amazing. Because one of the things I love about teaching and learning is that it happens in layers over time. And repetition is the mother of all learning. So every time you listen, you'll get something different. You'll feel something different. You'll experience something different. So thank you as always for listening. I love you all. Thank you for letting me cry on my own show when I need to. Show up from bed, makeup free with dirty hair. This is the real world, y'all. It's fucking rough out there. It's beautiful and exquisite and miraculous and amazing, but it is rough. And we are doing it, and we're doing it together. If you haven't had a chance, by the way, and you're on Instagram, go to Instagram. It's pinned to the top of my page. I recently posted some community guidelines. We love boundaries. We love creating and setting the tone for how we engage with each other, even on free public forums like Instagram and Facebook. So go check that out if you haven't had a chance to. You'll see it right at the top. It says community standards. There's a whole caption and there's a whole bunch of slides to go with it. And that's it. I hope you all have an amazing summer or winter, depending on where you are in the world. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you find, if it's appropriate for you, just a beautiful, amazing, and life-changing connection with Mary Magdalene like I have. That, of course, will be your own flavor, your own way. And that's it. We'll see you later.